Welcome to the Tangent Podcast. It's me, Ejon.
Welcome back. Hey guys. Just so you know, this is also a celebration podcast. Now that we're on iTunes,
We're on iTunes. Logo. We have our logo.
I think the logo still has to be updated on like YouTube and our site.
Yeah,
everywhere else.
Basically, and you know what? It will happen actually this month. It will all get updated. Because this is the news I want to say. I'm done with my fucking depression. I'm done with this sadness and stress because I decided to fucking quit computer science.
Yeah, so I don't really because you like sent me messages about all that because I would text you like, I don't know, maybe like once a day or something like that. What's it called? And you said all that, but I didn't really get it.
So let me basically explain. So basically, computer science is like maybe I should just make it simple as this. Computer science was basically a lot of stress in my life, and I like parts of it. Basically, the web development, like building the websites. I like, how people create like cool web animations and also mobile apps that are basically websites too. But I didn't really care so much about like, would you like to build your own operating system? How does computers translate this into a language? I really did not give a crap about like runtime and crap. But the thing is, that was all about computer science, and also it was a bunch of math and science that we both understand that we're not necessarily bad at, but we don't necessarily do well in. And
I'm good at science when it's not like the stuff I just had to do on my chem exam.
If it's biology,
numbers,
yeah.
Yeah, like I can do like biology with like terms and phrases and all that sort of thing, but like chemistry so far is like there's way too much.
Basically, because of this, I decided, you know what, this is too much. I don't like this, and I don't like computer science. Is there anything I can do? Am I stuck here? And I went online and I found online something for UCF called the Web Design and Development major, part of the School of Digital Media. And it was basically, would you like to learn how to build mobile apps? Would you like to learn how to build a better website? How to make it up and running faster? How to use Photoshop and stuff like that? And when I saw that, I'm like, this is what I came here for.
I had a class like that in high school. It was pretty fun.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, this is all the things I wanted to do and all the things I think are fun. Sign me up. And I decided, okay, where do I go? I wanted to get the hell out. What do I do? So I went over and I was searching around, and I found that it's because of part of the School of Digital Media. I went over there and I said, hey, I'd like to switch into this program. And it's like, oh, why do you want to do this? And I told them, look at my transcript. And when my advisor looked at my transcript, her jaw dropped and she was like genuinely afraid. And I want to like,
what?
Yeah, my advisor is genuinely afraid of how much work I'm doing.
What do you mean?
Well, my schedule is highly abnormal, and I'm in the position where she basically explained to me, look, you can't drop any classes because all your classes are paid by the state. So if you drop them, you have to pay the state money that you don't have. You can't take a giant L in all your classes because if you do, you go on academic probation. So you can't get less than a 2.0 GPA. So your only option at this point is to complete all the classes and get at least a 2.0 GPA. But the thing that really scared her was like, she saw this and her jaw dropped and was like, what did they do to you? Why would they give you all these classes? How did you get into this mess? And it's like, and she was basically the first advisor I've ever met. When she saw all this,
Yeah, I worked with a advisor to get all my classes. He's like, yeah, you probably don't want to take all these intensive classes at once. So take like a humanities and a speech with 3 like actual intensive classes so you can, not be overburdened. And it
yeah, and now I feel much more relaxed because it's kind of funny. This is like the one time and probably the most hilarious thing that she said to me is that, okay, Ejon, your only option at this point is if you can promise me you'll go as hard as you can in biology and Japanese, you should just do the homework for math and don't think about the tests. Just do the bare minimum and get a D. Because if I can secure basically decent grades or really good grades on every other class, I won't get an academic probation and I will be fine because next semester I'll be basically taking easy classes in the major I want. They're no math, no science, just project based. Update on that, I don't have to take a D because as long as I do the bare minimum, I can get a no credit option. So I don't need to worry about my GPA, which is really great. Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
So right now, like, I feel so good. I told my parents about it, and she was like, look, I just want you to be happy. I just want you to get the paper and get the degree that's going to help you. I don't really care if you want to do computer science or web design, if anything is better. And if you're not going to have your GPA suck for the next semester, go for it. So I got everyone's support. I kind of bothered my roommates to the point where they're like, dude, just go and take it so that way you don't have to hear you bitch about math. And now I'm happy. I don't care anymore. I basically can just do my homework and not give a crap about the tests because I'm just going to try I'm not going to like study as hard as I did. I'm basically just going to like, okay, I'm going to review my notes. That's it. I'm not going to do any more practice and crap like that. No.
Yeah, not like intensive study, but stuff like how you would study back in high school, you know?
I'm basically going to do my high school version of studying. Just like do my homework, maybe review on the night before, and then take that L or whatever I get.
How do you study, by the way? Like, what is your study method?
Okay, so my study method is basically I go into the textbook, and it depends on the thing. If it's like a software that says, hey, anything that you're really shitty on, we will give you problems and you'll practice them continuously until you get it right. Or if it's, and specifically for math, I'll try to memorize the formula, SOHCAHTOA, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, stuff like that. And I will write down and do problems like that. That's how I did in math. For biology, I basically just do repetition, Quizlet, just like most people do. The only difference is that for me, it takes me a very long time for me to do one of them because it's just basically all practice. And the other one is just repetition, which I can figure out how to like make diagrams, make mnemonics, stuff I can remember that's like really easy for you to teach yourself something to cram for a test. So it's like biology doesn't really care. I don't care about that. Computer science, I just need to understand it and do the project and get it done. I'm going to figure out if I'm right or wrong by testing it eventually. And when I feel comfortable about sending it out, I do. And with Japanese, that's just basically a matter of, exposure, because every time I watch anime or read manga without subtitles or English translations, I basically like, oh wait, I recognize this word, we talked about this in vocabulary in class. Or I can read out a word and basically say, hey, wait a minute, I heard that in anime, that means cat, or that means pencil.
Anime is helping you learn now.
Anime and manga is helping manga is helping me learn biology. Anime is helping me learn Japanese.
What do you mean?
Okay, highly recommend to the readers. There's a book.
Readers.
To the viewers.
Listeners.
Shoot. Yeah, the listeners.
There's nothing to view or read here.
I'm losing it.
Why would you?
Hey, listeners, our Hacktoberfest project's free to transcribe all our episodes.
yeah, definitely. Because they're very dedicated.
but for the they're dedicated, hard-hitting listeners. But anyway, yeah. So I have. I kind of lost what I was saying.
Talking about biology and how anime helps you or something like that.
Yes. So basically, there's this manga called Cells at Work. They have a manga at the moment, and they also have an anime that's airing. I think about 12 episodes. I'm not too sure. The whole premise of it is a anime style look at your body and how your immune cells and red blood cells and also other cells in your body interact and build the person that you are. And it's like a own little world and universe for them.
Didn't we talk about this last time? Because I just remembered I made that like Osmosis Jones anime joke.
We did. But, just a recap. But basically, that was it. So that's helping me learn biology. And I'm having a fun time with it. But you know what? But I've been having a lot of fun. I had more time to actually watch anime. Though not the anime I've been planning to watch this week. I went out with this girl at the school. And I invited her to like, hey, let's go and watch One Piece together. And
Like went out or just hang out?
we hang out at one of the, where was it? I think we hanged out at one of the community centers where they had a TV, and it's like, hey, I got my laptop. I know some places where we're online where we can download or watch and stream anime for free. We can stream the One Piece movie Heart of Gold, which I really like.
I've never
fun.
seen One Piece.
Nor have I. I mean, I'll tell you this now.
It's way too long, and I don't want to get into that.
It's the same complaint I have. She has not watched. I think what happened is that she eventually caught up to it, and not to where the current season is, but up on her own pace, where she knows where certain movies and certain arcs are going. So she's not like the current up-to-date One Piece fan, but she's still like dedicated enough to keep on watching. For me, that's not the case, but whatever. I just like the movie because the movie was pretty fun. I just had to ask her like during the show, like, hey, when did Luffy have this power, or when did Zoro have the ability to use all these swords or use that special move, or what's the name of the skeleton again? And she was like, say Brook, episode 3 or blah blah blah. So it was fun. I mean, we hanged out, the people came in and out. I think like one of the RAs came to check up on the movie and hang out with us for a little bit, and it was fun.
Yeah, speaking of anime movies, I went and saw the My Hero Academia movie in theaters, and it was very
in
good.
Theaters.
I saw the.
So what's your take on it?
I saw the English dub of it because that's what I watch myself. I just don't like subtitles because I can't actually watch the show if I'm reading. It was pretty good. I think the major flaw was it made itself way too fast. The movie was, I think, an hour 37 minutes, but it could have definitely been like 2 hours long because the first act of the movie felt very fast, and it was one of my favorite acts because you just see basically the entire class just having hijinks and just having fun, which is something you usually don't see because they're usually doing stuff. So it was pretty fun, and then the second act was pretty good. It was the setup for the big fight at the end, and the big fight at the end was the greatest part. What's it called? Minor spoilers, but All Might and Deku, Detroit smash an enemy at the same time. It was really cool. Good movie. I'd probably give it like an 8, or if I'm being more cynical, like a 7.5. Just the pacing issues were kind of an issue. Also, some of the class being there, like they had explanations for the ones who were actually like important in the story, but some of them, like God, I'm terrible with names. The bird guy, I forgot his name.
Yeah, Tokiyomi.
The sugar guy.
I like to call him Diabetes Kid.
Sue the frog, Acid Girl, what's her name? Mina, and Invisible Girl, and a few other people. They were just and I forgot he existed. Tape Guy, and the guy with the weird arms and ears and stuff. Him.
I'm gonna actually check the names. I have not watched. I feel like I'm missing out on anime at the moment really badly because I have not been able to see basically any anime for a while now, and only now I'm starting to like get back into it. But like, geez, I feel like I've been out of the community for way too long than I thought I had been.
Well, you probably only haven't watched in like a month or two.
No, I haven't watched. Well, I haven't kept up since last spring, maybe. Jesus.
Yeah, that is quite a while.
It's been a while, and I've been like, one of the things about being like a little anime nerd, I think the thing that really it hurts me the most is that anime used to be like the thing I used to escape a lot of the world and my problems from, and now I don't feel like I have those problems as much as before. They're different problems, but it's not the kind that I can solve away with watching anime. And now that everyone else is getting into it, or at the very least is becoming mainstream so much that now I feel like You know, in some way, I feel like I don't feel the same person I am before, which in many ways, that's a good thing. But it does make me reminisce and think about like the times how it used to be and how much fun it used to be to just, you know, sit down, spend like 3 hours watching a show and just feeling satisfied. And I feel like if I do that now, I feel like I could be doing something else and more productive at the moment. But
Yeah.
I want to have that feeling again where I can sit down, watch a show, feel like pleased to watch it, and don't feel like I'm doing this at the expense of something. I really want to be able to watch anime again and feel that nothing right now is in my way. This is my time for me to connect with the thing I really enjoy. And it's been a while since I felt that.
Well, for me, mostly, like, I'll mostly watch it after I've gotten my work done for the next few days. Like, for example, I watched some today, what's it called? Because I had a bit of free time, knowing that tomorrow, because we're recording on Saturday night, I know this is what we do on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I decided like football game. F- that I want to record a podcast.
Sunday, I do most of my work for the first half of the week. So I just watched some today because I had a bit of free time. And I'll either play some games, watch some anime, or just maybe read some. And that's how I, just have some entertainment. And it just helps out a lot because I'll know that this time I'm taking now will make me do better work tomorrow,
I absolutely believe you that way.
But one thing I wanted to touch on was you were saying how you've changed, and I feel like I've changed so much in the past 6 months. Like, as a person, I mean, you can probably see it in our episodes, like the difference between like Masks and Awakening. Like, I just feel like I've made a huge leap as a person, and it just kind of feels weird to think about how I used to be even like a year ago. It's weird.
I it feels that way. I feel like my biggest change isn't this year, but it's definitely been a big change. I noticed that around like junior year in high school, and I think this is the thing that you're going through right now, because I remember when I first went into the community college by our school, I felt like I was independent and free from a lot of things. And when I came back to our high school, whenever to just visit or do stuff, I felt like I was looking at the past of an era. Like, I'm sure if you were to go by our school again, you would feel somewhat like you're beyond this, or not like beyond it in like, oh, I'm better this time way, but feel like this is a time that has passed.
Yeah,
if you can understand
I
that.
drove by it the other day because it was, as you know, the school we went to is sort of in between two major roads, and I was going from one to the other, and I passed it, and part of me was happy that I was out of there, but the other part was sort of like nostalgic almost, because like I could see all the places that I used to hang out at, and I like hated being at that school. Because like just the entire culture of that school and the people there, I just didn't really like it that much, especially for the first few years of going there. But it did feel like it was like in the past now, like it was in like another life almost.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I feel in some way I understand what you're going through, and how I feel the same way. Where like before I felt stressed, but now I feel like. And like this is a new beginning. I mean, I'm assuming this is very common anyway, but it feels freeing, at the same time, sort of scary, but feels more like the scary of like this is the start of a new adventure more than scary like I don't know what I'm doing. You understand?
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of how I feel myself. It's a nice feeling because it's basically what I yearned for my entire high school life. Is this sort of feeling, and I don't know, I've just been actually like genuinely happy the past few weeks, and I've smiled like naturally, which if you know me well, that's pretty rare. And I've been the most positive person in my group of friends, and it feels it feels weird but natural at the same time. Like, I'm sure Ejon can tell you that over the past few weeks I've become a lot happier person, even just through the like messages that we send each other.
I mean, honestly, this is like I feel as though that to me, you are like the happiest person in between us for like the beginning of this whole school season, and at this point now I feel like we're on like a similar tempo now where we feel great. I don't know, I feel alive in some way. I feel like I'm not clouded by so much like regret or being conformed to say something or do something. I feel in some way that a part of me is being let go and being able to just explore and just like enjoy the world I'm in. Kind of like I'm in a RPG. I'm just like wandering around and having fun.
Yeah, the analogy that I don't remember when I used it, but I remember I used it. Is that like for a long time, mostly throughout high school and most of middle school, I was sort of in the dark. And part of that was because of, my life, but part of that was also me keeping myself there. And because of my friends and sort of moving past high school, which kind of felt like, I don't know, a chain on me, that now with this newfound freedom, I can come out of that dark and be me, and it makes me feel great,
Well, I feel like this has been a great time. I'm happy to do this podcast now. I'm happy to be, doing something I care about. And honestly, I feel what makes this worth it for both of us is that we're doing things that we care about and actually want to do, rather than just doing something that we have to do. Yeah. I'm not saying those things don't pop up. Those times, like moments pop up from time to time. But when those moments do pop up, and when we do have to do things we have to do, it doesn't feel overwhelming as it used to be.
Definitely, yeah. And another thing, like on this podcast itself, I love that I have this because I can express myself and how I feel without fear or risk of judgment. And I know someone could judge me based on what I say here, but it sort of just reinforces that feeling of freedom that's come with, I don't know, leaving high school. And I'm sure you can look back at our first few episodes and notice a drastic change from our, more recent ones. And I think that's almost like art,
We talk about things that we care about. We don't feel like I noticed that in the beginning of the episodes we're talking about like our anxieties, things that we were worried about, how we feel about ourselves. And now I feel like we're just talking about like how happy we are, what things we do like to do, and just our experiences about enjoying life. And just, now that we're almost heading up onto 10 episodes, which I'm really excited for. Hopefully we get to record on my this month is my birthday month, so hopefully we can record
wait.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn. I can't say the age.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Were you born at the beginning or the end of the month?
I'll tell you right here in the chat. And you can tell me yours.
Private message, dummy. Put it in
the. Oh shoot! Well.
Mine is this.
Wait, let me just.
A few days older.
I have not been playing around with Discord, and here it is. All right, there we go. So I think I sent it through here.
Oh my god!
No, I just did the same thing.
What are you, a boomer?
Maybe. I thought this was sending it to you directly.
No, we are in the podcast Discord, the Tangent Podcast Discord. You see it with our logo on the left side, Grandpa.
No, okay. Wait, how is this a private message? Or wait, no, I'm sending it to you through private.
This isn't. This is in the. God, college has just drained your brain. You're in web design? How are you passing?
No, actually, here's the thing we gotta get back to. I am barely passing, quite frankly. But I'm glad to know that we have it like on the similar. We're in the same week, 8 days apart.
We're in the same what? Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no, 6 days apart. Yeah, we're in the same week, so even even better. So we can like record between those times. We record like
You're
half.
turning 19, right?
Yeah. Well, dang, I had to cut. Well, yeah, I'm turning 19. Fuck it. I mean,
Hey, me too. I'm turning 19 as well. We're almost not teenagers.
wow, we're almost like considered
No, what's okay?
adults.
Okay. I am already a adult. Fuck you.
I am an adult too.
Side tangent. It's so weird having classes with people that are older than me because high school I've been in classes with people like within a year or two of me, but now I think I'm like some of the youngest people like in the room most times, and it feels weird.
I know how you feel, man. Imagine I did that when I was 16. I felt really like, oh crap, what am I doing here?
Like I'm in my chem class, and across the room there are three girls talking about their like children, and I'm like, you people don't look over 30. What?
I had in my speech and debate class at our community college, we had one girl who was really good, and she also had a daughter and a husband, and she wasn't even over. She wasn't 30. She was not even close to 30, and I was like, shoot, I forget that like. This is like in the decade people start having their families. I kind of forget that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I can't see myself in 10 years with a child. It's just kind of weird.
You know, that's the other thing. Like, I remember when I was not even too long ago, I would say a year, no, not even a year, maybe 6 months ago, that one of my dance routine, when I was like 14 years old, I used to do typical for my Panamanian dance troupe. Basically, what we used to do is practice traditional dances and that were from our home country. That said, one of the lead members, who was probably my age at the time, was danced with this other girl who was like one of the other lead female dancers. And now that I'm their age at that time, they already have kids at this point, and they're like, I think they're like maybe a year old almost, about to come up to. So it feels really odd to think that in maybe like half a decade or more, I can be a father of a child and be raising it.
Wow.
And even
yeah, definitely.
It just feels like, are you sure this is the time? And it makes me think about a lot of things growing up, because it makes me, in one way, think about death. I mean, I'm not so worried about death, but it does make me more present about like the cycle of being born and alive.
Death comes for everybody. There's no reason to fret about it.
It's not so much of a fear, but more of a interest in how I live my life and the choices I make in regarding to my mortality. Like, I don't think I act in the decision of that I'm going to die eventually, but I think that if we were to act in that matrix of knowing that we will die eventually, not saying it will happen now or very soon either.
Memento mori. Remember that you are mortal.
Memento mori. But I don't think anyone, when they go about their daily lives and they say like, hey, let me get hammered tonight, they don't really think that, oh, I'm putting myself at risk of dying, or or I might get food poisoning or something like that, or even like your normal everyday decisions. I'm drinking this Coke. I don't expect to get cancer or diabetes, but it's a possibility it'll happen. And
I mean, yeah, but if you live in the shadow of death your whole life, you're not going to live your life to its fullest.
Basically, and you know what? And that's a good thing to think about. Should we really be? I'm not too sure if this idea of train of thought is even worth considering, because maybe if I do think about death, it would not really benefit me, whether if I were to not.
If you want to hear my take, it's basically that death will take me when it will. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to not die, but if it's my time, it's my time. I can't stop it. I mean, but I believe in fate a bit almost, so I believe that I have a certain time that I'm going to die, mm-hmm. and I can't really change that, so I might as well live my life to the fullest, because I don't want to live in the shadow of fear my whole life.
And I can't see any reason not to. I mean, that's what I think most people do. I would definitely, put some restraint. I wouldn't encourage anyone to think that, oh, I'm going to die eventually. I got to make sure I figure out any way to prevent that from happening, because it's kind of be like, it would be nice if you could do something about it, but you really can't. I mean, there's some people that, and even I dance with the idea that eventually in like maybe a couple years we'll get to the point where we have like cybernetics or some kind of disease that will take care of death. But I think our past generations thought the same thing, right?
And yeah, and plus I don't know if I want immortality.
Really?
Because
or do you want to live longer?
I wouldn't mind living longer, but I want a finality.
Okay, would you like to have like the lifespan as a Skyrim elf?
Maybe 200-300 years? Yeah, that sounds fine.
200 years sounds fun.
I don't want to be immortal.
I can understand that, because
by the time I'm that old, I probably would have seen everything and done most everything, and life would just be kind of dull, and I would be ready to move on to whatever comes next.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that I would not have any real way to prove that's true, even if I would believe that. Even if I did believe that really I'm going to see eventually everything within about 150 years, it's still better for me to at least see everything, so I can say like, well, this was fun. I'm going to do the thing that I actually like doing within these 150 years. I'm not too sure. Is life important if we see something new or see something like interesting every day, or is it important about like gaining mastery or doing the thing that you like doing most of the time?
So you're basically asking what my idea of the purpose of life is.
Why are you alive? I guess that's the well, this has gone deep.
I've actually thought about this a little bit. As I said before, I believe in fate to a degree. I don't really know what that degree is.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe everyone has a reason to be here, even if it's very small. Like, my reason to be here might be that I made friends with someone in middle school, and I affected their personality, and then they went and did something great. That might be the purpose in the grand scheme of my whole life. Now, I still go on living and stuff like that, and I'm sure there's multiple things people do throughout, but my personal reason to keep living is because I want to see what this world of thousands and thousands of years of history has wrought,
mm-hmm.
and see as much of it as I can, and also to meet the other people of this world and change each other's lives for the better, hopefully. I want to meet new people, and I want to try to help each other, because, I don't know, relationships are what is most interesting to me in life. How people work, how they can affect each other in even small ways without even knowing it. That's intriguing to me, and if that's my purpose in life, then so be it. I don't need a grand purpose to keep living. If it's something small, then I'll do that small.
Well, I don't think that having a grand purpose necessarily means that is the main way to live, or is the definition of what it means to be alive. Like, I live to find peace in the world or something like that. That's like pretty broad, but you can always narrow down to something that you really care about. Or maybe that could be the thing, and I won't stop the person from like, I want to seek towards world peace. Go ahead.
That's admirable.
It's admirable. Maybe not
a bit lofty.
Maybe a bit lofty. Maybe something I can't imagine doing, but it's something that I wouldn't deny. And I don't think I would. That's the reason why I'm making this thing, because I don't want to say you should discredit yours so quickly, because I think that there's no shame in saying that I want to see the world and all its splendor and enjoy and maybe affect change on other people. That's really good. I wonder what mine's is. I think recently I had this idea that I'm like in a game, or like, not like I believe the idea, but I noticed how my childhood of growing up with RPGs and story-based games, and how it took a lot of influence from the real world now that I'm living more in it, and not just like the little bubble that I was contained in. I do know that I'm in a bubble, but it makes me think about the world as a more like somewhat mechanical or somewhat predictable place. Like, and going on a tangent about politics, when I was looking at like the whole Kavanaugh hearing,
yeah, I wanted to talk about that later, but sure, let's go.
I was like, I just felt not so much like, I didn't feel angry. I just felt like this was expected to happen. I didn't feel as though, I feel in some way people are conditioned to feel angry about these kinds of things, but over time, the more these kinds of things happen, I think this is what my middle school teacher once warned me about how the world has become, is that I'm getting more desensitized, or at the very least, I don't believe desensitized really, is really a thing. I'm not too sure if that's real, but I feel as though when I see these things so commonly, it makes me realize there's a large pattern. And whenever before I would think, oh my goodness, this will shake everything that I have known about the world. To me now, as I've lived longer, it feels something so, average, something that is to be expected. And the way they react, like the senators, how they defended him, almost felt like comical, like if it was watching a TV show or some kind of movie. So I didn't even feel anything. It felt almost like this is just some kind of game or show. And the more I thought about, the politics that you and I used to practice in school and all the theory and all that stuff, it made me realize that not all the theory is so much correct, but more of like a framework of how we can view these, because we see this happen over and over again. But I want to hear what you think about it.
In terms of the Kavanaugh thing, or
however you want to go about it. I mean, Kavanaugh would be a good start.
Well, okay. So I kind of get what you're saying with these sort of patterns, because when I heard about this Kavanaugh thing going on at first, my first reaction was just to kind of sigh and go, they're doing this shit again, because the Congress is always infighting about something, anything at all that they can get their hands on. And I don't know. I've looked into this Kavanaugh thing a bit. I don't think that he did it. I mean, he might have done something, but they didn't get any solid evidence. And I mean, it was 30 years ago. How do you get evidence about something like that? But I don't want to throw out her testimony like immediately. If she has something to say, then she should be allowed to say it. But I don't like. I was talking to a guy at my college about this, and he immediately gets like really pissed off that I would even say that like we should look into it more before we try to jump to sides. And he was like, "Oh, so you don't believe women? You don't believe survivors?" And I'm like, "That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we shouldn't, try to make a guy not have his seat because of accusations. It should be actual, evidence." Which
is the thing that I was basically, the reason why I was kind of like on that whole side for the longest is like, okay, well, that's fine. I want to see an FBI investigation then, because then I would be like, okay, yeah, the guy didn't do it, or the guy did do it. But when he was like,
well, there was an investigation.
No, I remember the hearing. What was it? Yeah, I remember the hearing that he didn't accept to the terms of investigation. I could have sworn when I saw it, he didn't say he agreed to it.
I'm almost certain.
Let me check.
That there was, what's it called? But if I remember from what I read, like a few days ago, I believe, there was a investigation. Now, most of the Democrats are saying that it was, incomplete and all that, which I believe it was, because this isn't a criminal, like probe. The FBI doesn't have full jurisdiction to go into everything, but from what they could dig up, they didn't find any evidence. So there was a FBI investigation, but they didn't find anything about her claims.
I think the biggest thing was about the time. It was the time thing that is like killing their investigation. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but the thing is,
happened 30 years ago. It's gonna be hard to find anything on.
But the thing is like they haven't really. I'm not too sure if they released all of it. I think they're still going to.
Well, he got confirmed today.
Yeah, I saw the confirmation. I'm not too sure. I I mean,
and I don't believe he can be removed from
No.
office unless he commits a felony.
yeah, he would have to, like, at this point, he would have to molest someone and have video
Or-
for something like that.
Yeah, or just like record himself like shooting
Or
someone.
smoking weed in the Supreme
Rip.
Court.
Rip Elon.
R.I.P. We should talk about Elon a little bit, but
Yeah, but let's finish this
Yeah.
Kavanaugh thing. So do you think he did what he was accused of?
my honest opinion is that I think he did it unconsciously when he was drunk. And partially, I think that just going off of when I saw his testimony, I feel as though he's covering up something, but at the same time, I feel as though when they said that, have you ever gotten so drunk and blacked out that you don't remember? I feel that that's more likely the case than like, I am intentionally am going to rape you. It wasn't like that obvious, but it was still the kind of activity that happens when you get so drunk that you don't have control of your actions, and then the consequences of that is that something like this might happen. I'm not too sure how.
He was accused of rape.
Yeah,
I think it was accused of sexual assault.
it was not
rape.
Okay, it wasn't. Okay, well,
yeah. California psychology professor Dr. Christine Blasey Ford accused Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her when they were in high school.
I think well, I take back the raping. I had it mixed up because I heard something about her.
They're used interchange.
I heard that like the Ford was saying that she thought he was going to rape her. That's why I thought about that. But if it was just sexual assault, I think it was though it happened without his knowledge of happening, but like his unconscious, or what's the word? His animal brain did that. And you have to take responsibility for that. We can't just say that, oh, I'm sorry I kicked your kid in the balls. He pissed me off because he, messed up my fence. You still have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And from what I've read, he was a very heavy drinker.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Adolescence.
It's just more that he had a drinking problem, and it caught up to him one point, and he managed to get away with it. But at the moment when he was about to be put to like the highest position, she came out to say like, "Look, you actually have some second thoughts."
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give my opinion.
Yeah.
Now. First of all, the timing of this really makes it seem scummy. Because if this had happened any time in the past 30 years except right now, I would have been fine with it. Like any verdict. But this just seems like political, like assassination.
No, I don't know.
And it just
the timing is like, these are the kind of things where it's like it's the kind of stuff that I understand why people think it looks scummy, and even I think like the timing couldn't have been like anywhere better. But maybe it's more the fact that this is the one time that people are looking into him, that she felt this is the best time for people to actually listen to her story.
Well,
I'm not too sure if that's like the real reason. I would have to talk to her. I don't know the full story of it. But in terms of how I want this story and I want people to care about it, this would be the best time.
I just don't see why now out of 30 whole years. It doesn't make that much sense to me. But getting back to my like opinion on it, I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and with only testimony to go on and no solid evidence, like any at all, I'm gonna have to presume the guy innocent.
Okay.
I think that he might have been an asshole in his youth, and I definitely don't like heavy drinkers. As you can probably tell from my opinions on the podcast about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should be denied his seat. I mean, from what I know, he's been a pretty good judge.
I mean, I don't even have like a big opinion on him.
I would definitely agree to a further investigation, because you might turn up something. But for now, I don't see anything that would make him guilty.
I'll tell you this. Personally, I wouldn't confirm him out of like what's going on, but I wouldn't send him to prison or anything, or charge him.
Well, if you don't confirm him, then I don't know. That's just kind of ruining his entire build-up in life, like till this moment.
I understand.
Based on a accusation, which I don't think is just.
I mean, I understand that, but in terms of, I think there's more of a risk, in my opinion, to let someone go and take a position of high authority in something like this, and to set a standard where this is allowed, even if this is not real, which personally I feel that he got too drunk, but that's my own personal opinion. I just think that in terms of, if, say, I don't know, let's say if Michelle Obama's sister were to be confirmed as a senator, but there was some allegations that she was into drug trafficking, and even if there's no proof of it, but there's a lot of testimony to go against, I would feel kind of like sketchy. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting her in, just because there's people who are willing to like say that about her. Makes me second guess.
I don't get behind that myself.
I understand. It doesn't sound like it sounds like, in one hand you could just say, well, in that case, let me just say shit about anyone, so that way, because of that doubt.
That's the major problem there.
But I don't know. This is the kind of stuff where it's more of the terms of,
it just feels wishy-washy.
It does, but it's just the fact that I don't know if I would feel comfortable if the chance that he was a sexual, if he committed sexual assault and he was going to be the person up on the Supreme Court case, because it would seem that he might have like a bias towards people who would become, like, say, I'm not too sure how you would.
What do you?
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't discuss any further about my opinion on it, because I don't have it. Well, because I don't have it fleshed out as much as I would, because these are just my first opinions, and I'm not too sure if I'm going to go back and, talk about this again. But I think if I had to just put it out there concrete, and what I believe in right now is that personally I'm not comfortable with the guy being a senator, the justice. But at the same time, I would wish there was a more solid evidence for the investigation, so I can feel that, okay, this guy doesn't have what it takes, or this guy does have what it takes. So
yeah,
that's my biggest thing that really bothers me, is that I wish there was more evidence, but at the same time, I don't like his testimony, and it doesn't feel right for me to approve him based on what's going on.
One thing I think we can agree on that we both probably dislike is the rampant partisanship with it.
Oh yeah.
Where if you're on one side, then your opinion is already made.
Now,
and I really just don't like
that's
it.
The thing. Like, when I saw, like, the biggest thing that really bothered me wasn't even like Kavanaugh. I mean, look, I seeing people getting charged with sketchy things and trying to dodge the question is not really the thing that like grinds my gears. The biggest thing was just seeing them. They're like, this guy was martyred, and like, no way that we should even consider this. It's like, really, dude, you're not gonna like listen. You're not even gonna let an open ear to the person who might have been sexually assaulted.
Yeah,
you're not even gonna have any.
Then the other side is people going that Kavanaugh did it. And they don't, like, they're saying that he like raped them and like raped like many women when there's nothing behind it.
I just don't have any. That's the thing, and that's why I agree with you. Is like, I personally, I'm the person that would, like, I'd need more evidence, but I would still treat them that it happened, but I wouldn't make my judgment and say this guy deserves jail time immediately. I would believe and try to do what I can to figure out what happened, but I wouldn't be the guy that says, we'll send him off to the guillotine, guillotine. Shoot, the guillotine. Send him off to the guillotine. But yeah.
I don't know. I believe that justice is blind and shouldn't take either side. I think we should find the truth, and that's all that matters.
It's interesting times we're living.
I don't know. I feel like people don't care about justice now.
But here's the question.
They're all just fighting for their own side. They don't care what's right.
But here's the question. Let's ignore justice and stuff for a moment. And I want to talk about this as more of like, here's the thing that really like got me interested in the case after they were like, throwing it in my face the whole time. It was more of like the political chess game that was going on with it. Like, what do you think will this do for the Democrats and the Republicans and both respecting parties for this information battle and also the end result. Like, in your opinion, what do you think? How do you think this will help the Democrats?
How I think it will help them,
or how?
Honestly, I don't think it will.
Really?
From my opinion, at least from how I'm perceiving it, as someone who hasn't been really like interested in politics a huge amount over the past few weeks because I've been doing college.
Yeah.
It just seems like the Democrats took a issue that a woman had, shot it to the national level to try to take this guy down so he couldn't be a Supreme Court judge, and it makes sense for them. They don't want another Republican on the Supreme Court, but it just seems dirty almost to take this woman's plight and to use it to try to take down this guy.
Well, I wouldn't say it's just even that though.
It just makes him seem dirty to me.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's just even that though, because even if we were going to say that this was a political, ploy to like use her testimony, whether true or not,
a political hit job.
Even if it was a political headshot, I think this does more than just whether he got confirmed or not. In fact, I would think that's even better that he got confirmed for the Democrats.
I mean, they could use it as ammo, saying like a sexual offender is on the Supreme Court, and that's why you should vote against the Republicans because they don't care about that sort of thing.
No, it's not even that. But it's just more of like, if I were on the side that totally believes that all sexual assault or any like women's issues should be held at like the top priority of the agenda for my party, particularly Democrats, and I saw the Democrats try their best, and I see them going at the person, and how they're kind of like directing the story towards how it's not my team that's not doing their best, it's that team that's trying to prevent justice from being happened, then it galvanizes their party more, but more importantly, it gets swing voters who are in like the moral limbo, who are trying to figure out like what's morally right to them instead of just following party lines, to sway more with a person. Because in this, I see a battle of winning people's hearts, and the fact that it's like the underdog trying to win, but he gets...
I just don't see it.
I know, but it's like having a group, the underdog trying to win, and they get kicked down, and the people who voted for Trump and also voted for Obama, but saw this happen, some of them are going to be thinking, wow, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing this again for another 4 years. That's the thing that, even though you might not believe it, I'm almost certain this is going to capture some of those voters somewhere.
I know, but like, I just don't see how you can feel morally right about something that you only have testimony on. Like, if you if you had actual evidence that this guy like sexually assaulted women and even like raped them, and then he was put onto the Supreme Court by the Republicans, then hell yeah, I would be up in arms about that, because that is not right. But if it's just testimony, then it's that. How do you know that's not just bullshit?
I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying you're using your very logical and just side of yourself. But I'm thinking of more what gets people up in the morning because they feel they want to get up in the morning. And I think this is more of like trying to attack, or not so much to attack, but it's more of like trying to gather the hearts of people. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. And that's why I said, let's just throw justice and fairness out like of the window for a minute.
Well, that seems to be what politics is heading towards anyways.
Well, I mean, what hasn't? But regardless, it's more of how I can see, like, this is what I meant when I say, when I look at the world now, I see it more like a chess game of how people are playing moves in certain areas. And because of it, although maybe this is also because of my cynicism, because I'm more cynical than I think you are.
Yeah, I would say I'm a bit more of a idealist than you.
Yeah, and that's why I think as a cynic person, when I see this, it's like, this is a good play for the Democrats, but like out of the justice of my heart, I do think that this whole thing is a little bit, I don't feel comfortable how it's going, but I know with my mind that this is winning brownie points for one side. And for the Republicans, on paper, this looks good, but they're at the cost of, a moral backlash.
I mean, a moral backlash from those who would probably already be against them, mostly, I believe.
I'm more focused on the swing voters because they're the ones that really matter. Like, if you have 48% of voters on one side and 48% of voters on the other side, what really matters is not so much your base, but those 2% that will swing either way. Those who win elections.
Yeah, definitely. But I believe, well, no, actually, it's not true. I was going to say, I believe Trump got a decent amount of swing voters, but Hillary actually won the vote count.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? I don't know. Maybe I just don't like how the political system is run. I think it would be better how we ran our club that we were in.
Oh yeah.
Although that wasn't free of political partisanship, as you can probably tell with every single bill I brought up being shot down.
Yeah.
Because if you know most young people are fairly on the left, and that's understandable somewhat.
I think more activists are on the left.
Yeah, and there were a fair few amount of activists there.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? In our last year there, I believe the guy sitting next to me was no. He was rooming with us. Remember, he was a activist for the Democratic Party. I think.
Yes. He wanted to get into Georgetown and become a foreign diplomat.
Yeah, something like that. But all of the bills that I brought up were usually shot down because they were on the right side of the political compass.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just don't like tribalism and partisanship. I am open to listening to other people's ideas because I want to find the best ones. And right now, I think that I have the best ideas. But if you laugh and all that.
Your logic is not wrong. At the moment, these are the best ideas until something comes up to be better.
Yeah, and I'm gonna debate that idea. But if someone beats me, then I'll concede my point. And join.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have arguments all the time after club. That's actually the reason I really started this because we used to have these hours-long conversations
like in the parking lot. We would spend 90 minutes just talking about like political debate. What's the merits of suicide or like assisted suicide or abortion? And oh boy, I don't know.
They got heated sometimes. But that's the reason we started all this, and I really enjoyed it because we both of our arguments got stronger off that.
Mm.
I think one time you said that you liked talking to me because I was like a sharpening stone. That
yes.
Your arguments got better off of.
Absolutely. So, because you made me think about things that I wouldn't thought about, and I have to figure out ways to either work with your argument or how to subvert it. Yeah, and I mean, we both had to do that here on this show tonight because of our different opinions on the Kavanaugh case. Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know how to move on from this, and I don't really know what to talk about next.
I mean, I would say politics is fun to look at on the sidelines. It feels like the spectator sport to get into nowadays, in my opinion. Yeah. It's been fun.
But it's almost like a blood sport at this point.
Let the best win in the gladiator fight.
Okay, to our sponsors.
Nobody! Give us money, please.
Hey, if we can get at least $15 a month on Patreon, this show will be funded for basically forever. Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, because
maybe we get
what it costs us like $50 like every 6 months or something like that to keep our website up.
Oh shoot, I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, that's $100 a year after this.
Oh, okay.
And then $15 a month. So the goal would be to be fully self-sufficient.
It's like $120
a year.
So that's $10 a month.
No, yeah, $10 a month. We just need $10 a month, people. That's all.
$10 a month, and we'll keep going for as long as we got lungs.
Actually, wait, no, wait. I'm doing the math wrong. 15 times 12. 15 times 12. I forget that.
And this is why we fail our math classes.
15 times 12 is 180. Plus $100. Yeah. Plus $100 for every year. That's $280. So we need basically $300 a year. And if we divide that by 12...
How are you getting these numbers?
Because I have a calculator always on my desk.
Wait, no, but wait. It's how much a year? Like $100?
$100 for hosting for the website a year. Plus 15, that's the rate, times 12, which is how many months. So
that
if you were to add
sense.
$15 a month...
Why would you times it by 12?
Because we have 12 months in a year.
Well, wouldn't it be divided by 12?
Well, we had to pay $15 every month.
Okay, so it's 15 times 12 plus 100.
Yeah, which is $280.
I'm checking here. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay.
And if I'm trying to figure out like the actual decimal value or something like that.
280.
That's 20. That's $25 a month. If we're if it's
3 repeating.
Yeah, but let's just make it $25 a month,
Yeah,
so that
we
way
can have like $2 extra to buy ramen.
There we go. Two extra dollars to get ourselves some nice, get ourselves some bubble gum. That's
I don't know. Like, a large bubble gum thing probably costs like $3. That might be above our pay grade.
Shoot. Well, at least we have $1 each to go to the dollar store and treat ourselves something nice.
Yeah, nice. Dollar store. Those words don't really go together.
Would you like a can of LaCroix?
What the hell is LaCroix?
What? Oh, you don't know about LaCroix?
I only went to the dollar store like 6 times in my whole life.
The dollar store. Okay, we're going to transition to this. Jeffrey is missing out on how to win shopping cheap. Have you seen my my Mario hat and Luigi hat?
Yeah.
And those cost like $1 each.
Bullshit.
Not kidding.
Those were at least like $10.
No.
How?
Goodwill.
Oh, yeah, but that's like cheating.
No, it isn't.
That's so...
How is shopping at Goodwill cheating?
Because it's like rolling the lottery on clothes. You gotta get complete garbage or like amazing stuff for the same price.
Hey, wait a minute. No, that's the same logic as gambling. Okay.
The lottery is gambling.
Yeah, which is why it's not bad.
That doesn't need to be reiterated, you dumbass. Everyone knows the lottery is gambling, unless their IQ was like room temperature.
Okay, well, I kind of backfired on me. But since we're on the topic of gambling, I wanted to show you this site. My roommate showed this to me. This is called Salty Bet, which is basically, Street Fighter, not Street Father.
Street Father.
Street Father. I will raise you, son.
Yeah, it looks like Twitch almost.
Okay, so instead of just Twitch, basically you vote on each of these sides. You pick like red team or blue team, and you bet how much money you want to pay. And it's all imaginary money. This is all imaginary money. But basically...
But say, damn, somebody put in like $1 million.
Yeah, in imaginary money. So you have to earn this, though, through bets. And what happens is that you basically... All these characters are custom made because it's all Street Fighter off the Mugen engine, which is basically another engine for you to create your own Street Fighter. But the thing is...
Why did a woman's breasts just appear on the screen?
Because you can custom create any character. Goku, SpongeBob can be here. I also saw, what's the robot's name in Futurama? Bender. Yeah, he was fighting there. He also sucks. So basically, you can have any character. You just bet without looking at their stats, without looking at their moves. You just see who will win.
Yeah, and this guy right here, Wanfu, just got just destroyed. And there was $1 million on him.
And the pay goes out to the winning side. Obviously, if more bets are on the losing side, the winning side is going to make a ton of money. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's completely free. The account you can make is free, and there's no real money that you have to put into it. It's just fun, imaginary, gambling on characters.
It just seems like higher stakes, like esports watching, but with shitty esports.
Yeah, but this is actually like it's not like you're betting on skill. You're just betting on randomness, which is even more fun.
Which is even more like real gambling.
Exactly. It is called Salty Bet, so you might lose like I don't know, 50K, and you will get so salty because the other team won. Like, even if it's the most bullshit, like, how many times you see in Street Fighter there's like bullshit combos that should not work, or like the AI doing some bullshit stuff that should not be legal. That's basically that, but you have the AI fight each other to the death.
Interesting.
I will put it on the link for the show notes. Salty Bet. There's only one caveat. There is not HTTPS. There's no It's not like that kind of secure site because no one here.
Because I have an add-on that makes every site that's possible into HTTPS, and it can't do it for me.
Exactly. So there's ads that run on this site to keep it going because there's not real money. I mean, you could put real money, but it's mostly if you wanted to get like a lot of in-game money. Like, say you want to have $1 million in your account, but you ran out of money. You would pay money to put $1 million.
Probably not $1 million. Probably like 20.
No, yeah, really cheap. It's not gonna because all this is just all for fun. Just all for bragging rights and having fun with it.
Yeah.
So Salty Bet is pretty good. I recommend it, and I like it.
Shitty live action like
yes. Yes.
Versus some anime.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know what's gonna happen. It's just fun. Also, but yeah, it was basically like that. I like it. I'm having a good time, and my roommate got me into it, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably.
Yes, we're playing. Sorry, my roommates are here. Do you mind if you say hi?
Hello. I hope you listen to the podcast. Yeah, you probably don't.
Yeah, Josh, listen to the podcast. You better listen to it. If I don't see you listen to the podcast
all day, every day.
Oh, every day.
Yeah, but we don't put out content that fast. Help me out in like 12 hours.
We need a full-time editor at that point.
Yeah. Hey, give us more Patreon money and we can hire an actual editor and make more podcasts.
Do you want it on a weekly basis, or even better, like a bi-daily basis?
That would be brutal.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
how about just once a week is good? Will be good.
Or at most twice weekly.
I think I would do this if it was. I would do a podcast if I had the time. I would do this on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
If I had my own personal job and this podcast, I would edit on a weekly basis. Make it my job.
Yeah. But like I said, Patreon will get us enough money and we can hire an editor.
Give us $30 a month. If we get $30 a month, this whole show's funded by the fans. It means that people like it.
And we can go find somebody on the internet who takes pennies.
Go to India. Go to Bangladesh.
Hire tech support.
Go to Thailand. There you go. Just get that $2 money every month. I don't know if we're terrible people, are we?
Using sweatshop workers for the podcast.
We really are. It's wow, you make. Actually, well, hey, no, it's not even that we're making a lot of money at that point. I think if we really wanted to feel comfortable about it, shoot.
If I wanted to earn an actual income, because remember, the Patreon, we have to pay $25 to cover the show, then, I don't know, probably at least 5 to 10 for an editor, then whatever.
No, way more.
That, okay, more. I don't know how much more. But
editor would probably be, if we can get the cheapest editor ever. Wow, we would probably need to make it at least $50 a month, at least for cheapest editor ever.
And then after that, all the money, extra profit, would have to be split two ways.
Which are That's what I'm saying.
Just minimizes it even more.
At that point, we might as well just save the money for a rainy day.
Yeah, honestly, just like open a like tangent podcast like bank account.
Yeah.
Put all of it in there, and whenever like I call, be like, yeah, I just broke my leg. We're like, okay, yeah, here's some of the money.
There you go.
But not all of it, because you could come in the next day and like, yeah, my like ear got shot off. I need to go buy like one of those new robot ears.
Now, okay. Now we're talking about robot ears. I want to talk about cybernetics. I've been thinking about it lately, and I kind of want to become a cyborg by the time I'm 50.
I don't.
Now, I'm going to explain my reasoning why. I want to basically have the benefits of being a robot without having to lose the majority of my humanity, similar to Genos in One Punch Man.
I mean, but he's like, only his brain is left.
Yeah, so not that much, but basically my arms and appendages are robots.
I'll send you a picture of basically the person that you want to be like then.
Okay.
Which version should I send them? Should I send them... Okay, how robotic do you want yourself to be? Like, mostly or just partially?
Half human, half robot.
Okay, then you want this version of it. Because he gets more robot as time goes on. This is Raiden from the Metal Gear games.
Yeah, Raiden would be a good...
This form I sent you, which I think was from Metal Gear 2, his limbs and arms and parts of his chest are part robotic, but it's nothing compared to this version of him that I'm sending you. Which is
I remember that he gets basically... Yeah, this guy, he's basically a robot.
Yeah, only like his head is left, and he does have children, so I assume those parts still work.
Yeah. You see, I kind of want the half robot so that way I can still have children if I wanted to. But I mean, I thought about it for a second, like, wait a minute, if I could have like a robot everything, could I have like a robot dick?
I mean, I guess you could, but...
What would be the function?
I mean, like pneumatic tubes, like you could get it to move, but I don't think you could make children with it because unless you like create an artificial prostate. But then
what
whose DNA would it be? Would it be yours or just like generic DNA?
Which is the reason why I think it's better for most people, like, just don't touch that area. That's why most people don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would want that either because like it's too iffy for me to want to know. I don't even want to play with that idea. Some people might. Those are not my... I just want to have robot arms and legs so that way I don't have to deal with the stresses of having normal arms and legs. You know.
Yeah, I'm fine with the human body how it is. At most, if parts of my body stopped working, I wouldn't mind getting some like enhancements to make them be up to date again. Like, say I get nerve damage in my right arm and I can't really feel anything there anymore. I wouldn't mind getting something installed to make my nerves work again. But I don't want to just chop off my arm and put on a robotic one for no reason.
Well, I would kind of want to because, like, I can customize it in the future. Like, if cybernetics get so good, it's like, well, this arm sucks. I want the new model where I can have, like, a automatic computer on the side. And also, my arm can unlock my doors because it has a key embedded.
I would rather just have that separately because... I'm afraid that something would happen, like, I don't know, your arm could short circuit and you're out of an arm. Like, the human body arm, yeah, I mean, you can get spasms and such, but your arm doesn't have the risk of a solar flare happening and your body shuts down.
Get a new one.
No, but this is a solar flare where, like, electronics stopped working.
That's
so...
True.
You would just be on the
get
floor
a new arm.
for a day.
Oh no! I feel that's a one like backlash that we would have to like. I would have to plan out ahead of time for something so unlikely to happen. All right. I'm not saying a solar flare can happen, but if we're getting to the point where there's a solar flare about to happen, we have bigger problems than my arm.
Well, I mean, solar flares just happen sometimes, but thankfully there hasn't been a big one, in recent lifetimes.
Good thing, because imagine if a solar flare happened today.
Dude, thousands would die because of all those people like in the hospitals and such. And there's
Just
no
immediately they're
electronics. Yeah, like people on like life support or those in like critical care.
Unless hopefully the backups turn on. But
Well,
even then,
I don't know if any electronics can work because all the like I remember how a solar flare works. It's like the sun shoots out so much more than usual that all of its like electromagnetic waves come in and interfere with all of our human gadgets, and it just sort of it's like a system overload where it can't do anything.
It's like electricity. It's like a lightning bolt striking through a server. It's
Yeah,
not gonna work.
it just crashes, and I mean things will come back eventually after like a few days maybe,
But still,
that'll cause.
oh my
a lot of
god!
damage.
You know, we were also. That's a lot of damage. I had to do that.
Had to do it.
I'll add it in post, the actual meme. But actually, me and my roommate, he has Fallout 4, and I know you played it. Right now, he just finished doing most of the Minuteman quest line.
Synths aren't humans.
Yeah, he's now onto the Brotherhood quest line. I know they're here's the thing. Brotherhood is basically from what he says, lawful neutral, and
I would put them there.
yeah. The only thing I disagree with the Brotherhood is just the synths part. Like, there's some good synths out there, you know.
I don't disagree with you, and my general if I was leader, then my stance would be we should destroy the Institute because synths as a race are a danger to mankind because they don't really need to eat, they don't need to sleep, they're just superior to us in every way, and they will eventually take over the world and destroy us.
I think this is the same thing as Detroit Become Human and your Android argument.
Yeah, but it's similar. But my basic argument there would just be to stop production of them, and then eventually, as time don't kill them off unless they're hostile. But as time goes on, they'll just die out slowly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I would say don't create any more. That's my thing. Just don't create any more synths. I'm not saying we had to go on a genocide and kill them all, but at least stop the Institute from creating any more.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd probably go with the Minuteman ending then yourself.
I just feel like I'm more comfortable with the Minutemen than I feel with the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood is like more power, but at the expense of moral ambiguity.
Yeah, and I also don't like how the government system works with the Brotherhood. They're sort of like despotic leaders almost
like a dictator, but not quite.
Yeah, but that's sort of just Maxon in 4. It was better in 3, but 3's Brotherhood is very different from other Brotherhoods. But I don't know. One thing I really like about Fallout 4 compared to the other Fallouts is there's no really good faction. I mean, besides the Minutemen, but that's one reason I really don't like them is because there's no real flaws in them besides it's basically a cult of personality around the main character. But the other 3 major factions, I love their depth.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, for me, I like to play the good hero because the majority of my life is filled with ambiguities. So that's why I'm attracted to it. But I do like the Brotherhood's quest line because there's more interesting stories to be played with.
Yeah, definitely. What's it called? In games, I usually for example, okay, side tangent. I've always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons and side story here, a side story within a side story. In middle school, I had one of my friends come up to me and offer to play Dungeons and Dragons with me, but I came home and told my parents, and my dad told me that I was not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons because it was for nerds or something like that. So I always wished that I would have done it anyways, but I've always wanted to play it, and the character that I've always imagined I would play would be basically like a mercenary almost, because it's how I imagine I would be in a world like that. Like, if I had to choose a alignment for myself, I'd probably choose like chaotic good, maybe. I don't know. I think it fits me as a person and my ideology. And I'd love to play a character like that. So that's why I've always wanted to play D&D.
I mean, D&D is fun. I have the chance to play D&D. There's this club at our school called D&D Nights. D4 Nights, that was it. D20 Nights. Boom. And I kind of want to join, but at the same time, I would like to... I want to play D&D with friends.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I want to have a good game with friends I can trust, because D&D is really is going out on your first big adventure. You know, you don't want to go with some randos, all right?
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind playing with like you, my brother, and a few other friends. You know,
and one person who has like been a DM before. That's
someone
good
who's
enough.
Actually done it.
That way, it's like, all right, everyone, since you don't know the rules, let's just have some fun. I'm going to get you introduced to it. So that way we can understand the game, but we still feel like, oh, I feel like I can do this, instead of like, oh, what the hell am I doing here? I remember the first time I played D&D, I was like, can I kick it in the balls? And my DM says, yeah, but you're not DPS, you're tank. It's like, okay, but can I kick it in the balls? Like, sure, roll for it. And I got it. But it felt like I didn't understood my role well, and I wish I had more time to... But I mean, obviously...
If I'm an enemy and a guy kicks me in the balls, I'm definitely going to attack him first.
Yeah, but and it makes sense because I'm tank. I would be able to hit it, but I would take the hit, but still.
Yeah, definitely.
DPS would have done better job at kicking him in the balls than I did.
Also, would you, like... In traditional like RPGs with like tank, DPS, healer, which one do you enjoy playing most?
Do I enjoy playing? It's more fun to be DPS, but I'm better with tank because
I would say I'm probably the opposite. I'm probably better with DPS, but I enjoy tank.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like tank is easier for me to play with because I have more time to think about my moves. DPS is like, if I know what I'm doing, I'm going to have a great time destroying everything. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to get my ass handed to me fast. Because at the cost of, DPS is low health most of the time.
Usually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're playing like a warrior or something like that.
Yeah.
But then if you have that high health, your DPS is usually lower than like a mage.
Essentially. I mean, well, wait, your DPS is lower than... Yeah, basically. That's why mages are like... I like playing with mages, but I do like having a lot of health, which is why I liked in Skyrim I could do Battle Mage, because like, ooh, perfect, best of both worlds. Mm-hmm. I don't get to spec into either one, but hey, at least I can shoot fireballs and then, swing an axe and chop their head off.
Speaking of Skyrim, I have not been playing Skyrim, but I've been playing one of the previous Elder Scrolls, which is Morrowind, and my god, that game is complicated compared to Oblivion and Skyrim. There's like no voice acting, and everyone just speaks full paragraphs at me. So the world is pretty nice. It took a while to actually get to work on Windows 10 because the game's from like the early 2000s, if I remember correctly, like 2004. I
thought it was like 2002, but yeah.
Yeah, sometime around there. But it's a very intriguing world, and it's been pretty fun, except I have to understand really old school, like Western RPG stuff. Which I've been mostly doing JRPGs. I've been playing the entire Persona series recently.
Danganronpa. Have you played Danganronpa yet?
No, but I've seen a lot about it. Well, not. I've just seen its name everywhere. I don't know anything about it.
You'll like it if you... It's like in the same family as Steins Gate and Doki Doki.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out then, because both those games are pretty good. But yeah, I was playing Steins Gate earlier. It's a fun game.
So, which we can get to that maybe not this episode. I want to talk about anime another episode when I have more time to watch it later. But basically, I think that the best thing about playing as tank is that while you don't get to do all the cool combos, you have more time to figure out like how you want to play your attack because you have more time to get hit. So you can like, hey, let me go in front of the mage, the what you would call the cleric, to take the hit, and then after that, I can use a shield to to bash the enemy, so that way the DPS can get a sneak attack.
And plus, the tank is usually the leader of the group, and that's also something I kind of enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, well, I have one time our leader was a DPS, but that was because he was more experienced. But even then, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I see leaders of groups either usually being the tank or the healer because there's one of them.
Yeah.
Although a healer leader just kind of seemed kind of weird to me.
It feels like they're like a director where they have to have been good at. I feel like you can be a healer if you are a really good attacker. Like you chose to be a healer because you don't want to do attacking anymore. You want to focus on directing missions.
Yeah, like a healer leader is like a director, while a tank leader is more of just like the
captain
guy who goes in first. Yeah, the sort of leader of the squad.
Yeah, Captain. I want to hear. I heard the echo. That was such hilarious.
Yeah, and I bet you're. I'm dying over here. I'm sorry. I bet your roommates loved hearing that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I do. I hope my roommates are okay with me. I mean, for the most part, we've been basically on pretty good terms. I mean, we hang out with each other. Only this time I didn't, because everyone went to a football game, and I decided to stay in today.
I want one of our Patreon goals to be, we'll hire like someone who makes music, and they'll get all those clips of me stuttering and like screaming and make them into something good.
I mean, the good thing is I'm keeping all these really good stutters in a file, so when they do come around here, or if a fan wants to like get some access to it, that it's like, here you go, enjoy.
You do something with this. Let me give them the beat right now. This is fucking terrible. I'm spitting in my hands so hard.
Beat noises. Beat noise. Dippa doy doy.
There you go.
There we go.
Do something with that. Make it.
This is for next. Hopefully, listeners, like next week or next month, however fast we get to it. I want to hear a 90-second mixtape with all the audio, if you can.
Well, although I guess we'll put out like a WebM download on like our Twitter or something with all the files in it.
I'll just make an MP3 file for them to download if they want.
Okay, yeah, and then one of our listeners, whoever has the skill,
can impress us.
And we will take like multiple entries, and we'll listen to them and tell you which ones are favorite.
We'll put them on the podcast, our favorite ones.
On the podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you a shout out. That's basically all we can do.
That's basically at this point. We don't have any money. We're trying to get by. We're just broke college students,
Yeah, fitting that stereotype. Also, you haven't seen me in a few months, but I have not cut my hair, and now it's going past my shoulders.
Oh wow, Fabio.
Actually, I'm just gonna take a quick selfie and send it to you.
The German Fabio was unleashed onto the world on October 6th, 2018.
Okay, I'm gonna put my headphones down. Like, entertain.
So, listeners, one of the things about the Tangent Podcast is that we do a lot of interactive media with our show. So for that, I want you to imagine in your head a nice, giant, burly man with the muscles of a god, and on top of that has a beard that would make Poseidon jealous, and on top of that, the flowy, curly hair of Cupid, to which
I sent it in the personal messages because I'm very smart.
To which he almost looks like a patriot from the American Revolution. At the same time, he also looks like a German farmer on the countryside.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But overall, he's still just a basement dweller like myself.
Are you describing me? What did you call me?
I have called you only nice things, if anything.
I heard basement dweller, and excuse you, there can be no basements in Florida. Checkmate. I'm not a basement dweller.
I was outsmarted. Must commit seppuku. All right. I will not put this in the show notes, but I will admit that your hair has gotten to the point where you look like you're a drummer in a boy band.
Hey, my hair is great.
I'm not denying.
And I actually...
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying you look like the drummer in a boy band. Or at the very least, a drummer in a indie rock band.
I actually, in that photo, I am wearing a t-shirt of a metal band I like. So, I'm fitting the stereotype.
You're fitting the stereotype pretty well. You're watching anime and playing, visual novel games, but pretty good ones. And on top of that, you play video games. So, oh no, I mean, you're not the basement dweller, technically, so I can't call you that anymore, and I won't from now on.
I think I'm more sociable. Well,
I think you're happier.
Yeah. I've actually made, multiple friends at college. Which...
Yeah, so... Yeah. Okay, I guess he's a functioning... No, I can't even say functioning basic dweller. I'm just gonna call you a gamer. Just gonna call you
Gamers rise up.
Game Weaver. Wait, what? Okay.
I said gang weed. Do you not know Gamers Rise Up?
Yes, I do.
Except the subreddit has gone to complete shit. Now it's garbage. I was back in the OG days when it was funny.
Oh, is that so? You know, I have to say something. I don't know what's going on, but I want to know in Discord, and I'll cut this out. You can change your name into different Discord servers, right?
I have no fucking clue.
Well, the thing is, one of my friends on Discord has been basically changing his name and user profile.
I think you could, I know how to change your actual name and picture, but I don't know per server.
But that's the thing. He's been doing this for the past, the whole recording, and I'm like, something's he's been changing all over kinds of, different names and icons. So it's been, pretty odd.
I don't know, man. He's probably just doing some joke.
Maybe. Well, in any case, I think it's a good place to leave off on the podcast. And I want to say...
I could talk for so much longer. We just haven't done this in, a month.
You're...
Okay. Let me just say all the stuff I want to say, but really fast.
Okay.
Let me drink some water so I can get ready for this.
He's gonna spit right now. Let's go.
I burped. Hey, ladies.
No, don't. Wait.
Fucking cut that. Cut. Actually, don't. But, keep me calling for it to be cut in. That adds to comedy. And keep this in, too. Okay, let's go. So, I've been playing the Persona series recently, and it's pretty good. I'm Persona 3 right now, and I fucking hate Tartarus. It takes forever to grind, and old school JRPG combat really sucks, and playing Persona 4 and 5 really, I don't know, spoiled me on how good the fucking combat was. I've been playing Nier Automata. It's a good game, but I'm distracted because 2B, her skirt's too small, and she wears nothing underneath. I mean, she has clothing on, but it's still fucking distracting when I'm trying to kill robots, and then I just get upskirted randomly, and I've actually died once because of that. The first time it happened, and it really just freaked me out because I didn't know that was gonna happen because I thought this was just a game about you fighting robots and shit as a robot, and it has themes about humanity and stuff, and that's pretty cool. But Jesus Christ, put some clothes on. My fucking alarm just went off to go to sleep. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've been playing. Yeah, it's a good game. I recommend it. The music's really good too. I've been playing old games from my childhood, like Age of Mythology. It's a good game, but the graphics are complete shit, and I still know all the music. The Egyptians are the best faction. Fight me. Ra is the best major god, and if you disagree, I will fucking murder you.
He doesn't mean that.
I do mean that. I've been playing Morrowind, and Jesus Christ, everyone just shouts paragraphs at me, and I'm playing an orc, and everyone's fucking racist, and it sucks.
But it's a pretty fun game. I've been playing Steins Gate, which is pretty good, except all the dialogue is in Japanese, and I ain't into that. I listen to the superior dub anime, and if you listen to sub anime, then you're even more of a degenerate and weeb than me.
I actually listen to sub exclusively,
Disgusting.
but I'm practicing Japanese, and I actually have a class in it, so I think it balances out.
That makes you even more of a weeb because you are learning Japanese to understand anime better. Big brain me. That's what I've been doing. I've been listening to a lot more different types of music, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I actually downloaded some anime intros. I know. I'm disgusting. Oh yeah, and I downloaded because I've been watching JoJo, and JoJo's really good. I would say part 2 is the best part so far. Part 3 is fucking boring. Because it's taking too damn long, and I don't care about any of these tarot card people who are showing up. Part 1 was good, but it was way too damn short, and Jonathan was a kind of boring. I mean, he was nice and all, but Joseph's a lot better. And plus, I even made like my own meme about it, which will be my like meme of the week because it's my own and self promotion. Yeah. I've been going to college. I mean, it's pretty good, except it's damn hot outside and everyone's in their fucking jeans, and I'm over here dying in a shirt, pants,
basketball shorts.
Because I basically only wear basketball shorts. Like, if you know me, then my usual outfit is basketball shorts and a t-shirt. I just want to be able to wear like a hoodie and shit. Actually, cut this for a second. I need to get another drink of water.
Oh god.
My throat is pretty dry, and I'm also gonna get some appropriate music for this fashion.
Danger. In the meantime, I kind of want to listen to the Valhalla soundtrack. All right.
There was like no break. What's it called? I have not been paying attention to any politics, but like I said, this Kavanaugh shit's kind of weird. But politics is just kind of I don't care. I don't know what to watch after JoJo, and I'm just kind of bored of watching part 3, so I've just been playing games recently, doing a fuck ton of work for my classes and such too. I think that's all I have to say.
Oh, I have one thing to leave off for the listeners. Since most of us have a demographic within the ages of 18 to 44, I'd say please fill out your FAFSA. I don't know. I'm just making an educated guess.
Vote.
Vote. Fill out your FAFSA. You have to renew that every year.
What if I made my FAFSA over the summer?
I mean, that was for last year.
Okay, so
but you're late. You're really late. Yes,
but
you can't do it now.
I made it in August.
That was for last year, and on top of that, the new one just came out, and also the website's down.
But then how am I late if it just came out?
You're not late. If anything, doing it now will be early for next year.
Yeah, because like college courses for the second semester for me, so, like I can sign up for them in a few days.
Yeah, but this FAFSA is going out for 2019 to 2020.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You just have me like anxiety attack. Like, holy shit, I'm late already?
No, but the thing is, the earlier you are, the more scholarships that will know that you exist.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you can't do it now because the U.S. government's slow. But when it goes up online, and I would say keep on checking it this entire October, which we'll do a spoopy episode later.
Both
just
our birthdays are kind of near Halloween. Spoiler.
We can do a Halloween special, but
holy shit! Also, if you want to know what I'm going as for Halloween, now mind you, I'm not going trick or treating by myself. I'm going with my brother, who is younger than me, and still trick or treat without seeing like a weirdo. Okay. Side story. I stopped going trick or treating at like 16. Because I was too big and people would turn me away. Because I was already like 6 foot by then, and people thought I was like an 18 or 19-year-old trying to get free candy. And I was like, no, I'm 16. They're like, no, you aren't. Get out of here. So
it's a shame.
I know the bad things about being a tall guy. Also, that I have a fear of short doors.
You're gonna hit your head one day.
Oh, also in my chemistry lab, like, you know how they say you should get like eye level with like beakers and stuff? I have to get down on my damn knees to like see any of that.
I have never taken the lab in an actual, chemistry lab at all. Now I think about it.
I burned my hands with acid.
Really?
Lab, so. Yeah, because the gloves we had were really cheap, and it went.
For our lab in bio, all of our labs are in Second Life.
What?
The video game.
Are you
Remember the video?
Serious?
I'm not kidding. All my labs, like using hydrogen peroxide, just going inside we went inside of a cell in Second Life.
What the fuck is your education system?
I don't even know. Look, I don't need to care anymore because after this semester, I won't need to do any more science and math. So I'm like, fuck it. The best thing about it though is I can fly and I can also hijack a helicopter. But the thing is, the TAs will get mad because the TAs are in Second Life. So if I try to do some crazy stuff, they'll report me to my professor.
What the fuck?
It's like imagining Skyrim was your classroom, and if you were just trying to attack an orc because he said something mean to you, that's against the rules.
You're just minus 20 points for harassing that man over there.
No, even worse, you might get you might have to go into the professor's office and talk about academic student conduct. It's that bad.
It's like, listen, you attacked that mud crab, okay? That is a helpless animal. How dare you? I'll have you know that I'm a vegan, and I think attacking helpless animals like that for their meat is disgusting. You ate it directly after you killed it, you savage. I'm reporting you to the fucking dean, and I hope you get expelled. Good day, sir.
God. Oh, God. It's not too far off of the truth. It really isn't too far off of the truth.
When you sign up for these fucking classes, I want to get expelled from that class.
I can't afford to, but I really kind of want to.
Just so I could tell that story for the rest of my life. It would so be worth
it. You could do it before the withdrawal period.
Yeah. Just like the first lab, you're like... Let's say
no, you can't do it the first lab. It's the second lab you get to do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, and you just go up and start murdering the professor. You start beating them to death.
Yeah.
And then who's texting me?
Oh, God.
It's my brother telling me to stop screaming in here.
We're having too much fun, and I think my roommates are getting pissed too.
I probably woke my parents up.
I think my roommates might get pissed at me at the end of this. Right.
It was worth it.
Yeah, this is worth it.
Well,
but yeah,
I'm kind of spent after speed talking and then doing that bit. So, thanks everybody for listening to the Tangent Podcast.
Thank you for the show.
Yeah, sorry about the long hiatus again. We should be putting out more regular episodes. Both have more free time. Well, now that Ichon has more free time, I've been able
my mental capacitors are at a full function, so I'm all good.
Yep. So we'll make sure to record and put out episodes bi-weekly. And remember, if we get some money on Patreon, we'll start heading towards more maybe weekly episodes, maybe even eventually bi-weekly. But I don't know. That sounds like a lot of work.
It does. But yeah, anyway, thank you again. And if you want to listen to the show, you can go listen to us on Apple Podcasts if you're not doing so already. And if you can, please like the show and give us, 5 rating. It really helps us a lot so more people can know about our show and you can spread the word.
Hit the bell for notifications. Enter our free gift card giveaway below.
Actually, you know what? No. I actually, now that you reminded me of this, I want you to unsubscribe. I want you don't give us...
Unsubscribe and dislike.
Dislike this. Don't just tell this is the worst podcast. In fact, don't share with your friends because they don't deserve this. Okay, they're good people. In fact, keep it to yourself and don't let anyone. Just unsubscribe because you know why? I only want the people who really want to be here. I don't want people who just are told to be here.
This is terrible.
You're here because you were chosen, not because you were told.
Chosen.
Not many know because not many are ready. And that's what
following of our Lord Monopoly Man Joker. You are one of the chosen few who knows his words.
Speaking of which,
them, my lord.
speak to it.
Yes,
as-
it is I.
Oh,
Monopoly
crap.
Man Joker.
I thought.
You thought I was coming at some other time, but I come at my own bidding. Have you been producing podcasts? I see you have not. It's been a whole fucking month, and you haven't put out
Yeah.
anything. This is disgraceful. I will
yeah,
have you both executed in the bowels of
Wait.
San Diego for this.
Mr. Monopoly Man, look, if you execute us, then you won't have a podcast to keep on running so you can take our money when we actually make money.
Yeah, but I can just go find some other two young chumps who are willing to do my bidding. I don't need
All right.
you two.
Alright, fine. I guess that means you won't have any friends.
I don't need friends. I can just
Sure.
pay people to like me.
Can you, though? When was the last time your mom said that
I'm
I love you?
actually clinically depressed, and I've been seeing a psychiatrist about it, but he says that there's no way for me to gain help, and I should seek assisted suicide in the Netherlands. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather just torture people for the kicks.
Mr. Monopoly Man, if you want to talk about it on the next podcast.
And I'm
then-
gone. Bye. Boom.
Oh, okay. I guess he left.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of sat there in shock.
Yeah, I mean, every time I don't know, like, you're afraid. I mean, to the point where you're, like, almost pissing your pants. So, I'm just glad you're okay.
Excuse you, I pissed before this podcast happened. So, I can just keep lemon juice in my pockets.
I'm sorry. That was just my mistake. But yeah, please, if you enjoy the show, you know what to do. If not, you know what also to do. And
My
until
God,
then,
I'm getting bombarded right now.
this is a Tangent Podcast. Signing
See you
out.
next time, guys.
See ya.
Or girls. I mean, but I doubt women listen to this, honestly.
See ya.
But if you do,
Bye.
hey, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Just end it already.